All right, what's up, everybody? Sorry for sorry for being late. Unfortunately, had some nothing major, but some emergencies pop up. Nobody's hurt or anything though, so we are good to go. Just getting myself settled in here. I hate being late. It really bugs me. So I'm taking a little drink real fast and some water. And like, I really have a huge pet peeve about being late. So, anyways, welcome everybody. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. As always, I'm Jay. Don't forget to throw away your feelings, open your minds, and question your beliefs. Hope your Monday is going well. Besides a little hiccup, Monday's going all right. Can't complain too much. So, first off, you guys let me know what's up with you. Anything interesting? Anything new? Let me. We're gonna have two options because there is this application that I was suggested to use alongside of Discord. I still want to use Discord first, but there's also like Ninja something. Let me get my notes out, and this is only going to be for the people that can't connect to Discord. I still want to use the Discord first, but we'll go from that. But good day, Buck. What's up, Buck? Zeb, what's up? Karoki, what's up? Channel, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let me get the Discord link in there as one of our pinned comments. Thanks for all of the support on this latest video. You guys are killing it. So I can kind of tell when you guys are sharing it or hyping it up because the numbers go crazy really fast. So thanks for all the support on the latest video. I thought it was one of my better ones. So it's good to see as the creator of the content that you guys agree, because so many times as the creator, like, I'll think a video is good and it flops. It's almost all the videos that do well are videos that I don't like. So it's good to see a video that I actually and I liked how it came out to do well. You have some thoughts on free will? You're always welcome to come up, Buck. So if you want to be the first one to jump in, makes it easier for me. I know you're not shy, so it's always good. Let me see. I wanted to do something here. Forgot what. Oh, that's right. I'm getting the Discord link. Okay. Hey, I like the no fear people, man. No fear. Hop on in here. If you got something to say, don't be afraid to be challenged. That's why I'm here, man. I got stuff to say. I think I'm right on some things, and I like to be challenged, and that's just how it is. So, to me, if you think you're right, what's the point? Or sorry, what is the reason to not step up? Anybody that thinks they're right should want to be challenged. But there's a lot of people that think they're right and they just want to avoid it. And I don't know, I don't like that. To me, it's like, how much confidence do you really have if you don't want to discuss these things? All right, so first up, since we're running late, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything or stall it out. So we'll have Buck come up here. What's up, brother? Oh, make sure I got my stuff set up right while I'm talking. Oh, we're good.
All right. Hey,
Oh,
man, how you doing?
There he goes. There he goes. I always get you in so loud, man. I always, I always have your volume at the wrong spot.
It's probably because I'm deaf.
Oh, are you deaf in like one ear?
Pretty much. Well, I have weird stuff going on with my head. Hey, you might have picked up on that.
No. I mean it in the way of that's everybody, man. I think we all have some messed up stuff going on our head, and I think we're
Oh,
trying to figure it out, man. That's why I'm trying to be as kind as possible because I truly do feel that. I think we're all a little bit messed up, and we're trying to navigate this system, and
yep.
that's why I do try to be as kind as possible, man. That's kind of how I look at it, bro. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Jay?
Not too bad. Trying to pop out this screen. Oh, this is what I got to do. All right, there we go. Since you got your camera on, I got to show the crowd. Yeah, you know.
I got the camera on. It doesn't seem to be putting me up though.
No, you're good now.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Right,
brother.
cool.
So you had a little topic of free will. This is open talk, so you get to choose what we talk about.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that on Friday. I was like, man, I need to call, but I can't call now. And Monday is open talk, so I'm gonna give him a call.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Go
Uh,
ahead. I'm gonna let you start it.
so here's my thought. I think you're demanding, at least from the understanding that I picked up from last week, that you expect quite a bit from free will. It's almost as if you expect, not only do I have free will, but I also have ultimate control. And I don't think that having free will means that you have ultimate control. It just means you have the freedom to choose over a certain um o- over the parameters that you're forced to live within.
Okay. Keep going real fast because I want to make sure I already have what I want to say, but I want to let you finish first. So go ahead. Are
So
you done?
so I guess my thought is that um it is I think that you were putting a lot of weight into that, and with regard to saying that, well, if I have free will, shouldn't I have any ability to deal with anything? But here's the thing.
Okay.
If you walk to the edge of a cliff and you believe you're going to fly, you have the free will to walk off that cliff and try and fly.
Yes. Do I have the free will to fly?
You don't
No.
have the
No.
free
Right.
will to fly in and of itself, unless you built a plane or you have a glider wings or something. But in any case,
Well,
you
yeah.
have to
I
have.
mean, we're more talking about like just of course there might be ways of doing things, but I would still say there seem to be limits on everything, right? And
Absolutely.
do you want maybe make sure that you understand this part from me. I don't think free will is real in the first place.
Right.
Does that help you with what you're about to say or change anything that you're going to say or
Uh, no, I kind of picked up on that from the idea of, I think you mentioned it straight up the other day.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
but but um, I mean, I can understand why you would just say, you know what, there's no such thing as free will because, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to back off. Let me ask you,
Sure.
why do you believe free will is non-existent?
Great question. So I think free will doesn't exist because of what we found out about um, just the expansion of the universe and how it started. And I'm saying started by our observable universe. I'm not saying there was a beginning like other people say, so I want to be clear on that one. So how I envision this concept is I am made out of everything that came from that point, right? So because everything was in a certain trajectory, it was going to happen a certain way. I was always going to be born, and almost every single facet of who I am today, I had zero control over it. I am kind of a passenger that is just watching my life go. Like right now, I'm just watching it. Like I just happen to be watching it. And to me, it's why we don't understand or why we can't control the things we believe. You can't control who you're attracted to. All of these things that we have no control over, we just witness it and then we try to explain it or explain why. And I just feel like, well, wait, if that's what we're doing, then why does that not go all the way back to the beginning? Right? Like the fact that I did not have control about who my parents were is one thing, but why don't we take that a step further and say, "Oh, I didn't have control that the comet that hit the dinosaurs and made us be made mammals be the species that took over the earth. There was no control over that either." It's like we notice these bigger things and I'm like, "Well, wait, if these happen on huge scales, why would it not be happening on a like molecular level or like a particle type level, like where this particle was always going to go in this direction, which means it was always going to interact with this one, which means this was always going to interact over here, so on, so on." Now I go totally extreme with this, but I think it makes sense. Like you didn't have control over so many things. Why do we think we have control over anything?
Interesting. So let me ask you then: Do you think uh, that you have absolutely no control over your beliefs, or something that changes your mind? It just happens. It's not your
Correct.
control at all.
100%. If you were to tell me something that I needed to hear to just believe in God, I could not control that. Like like let's just say there's some certain words, and I do believe this by the way, and like I do believe there is something that you could tell me and it would make me believe. Do I know what that is? I have no clue. But when it happens, I would not be able to not believe you. Like there is no choice in that. Either I'm convinced or I'm not. And at one point I was convinced. And then one day I woke up and I wasn't. So it like I've lived this. Like one day I literally woke up and I was not convinced and I was confused because one day I really woke up and I was like, wait, this shit's not true. Like I literally remember it. Those are the words I said. And I was like, this shit's not true. And like it hurt, by the way. Like it was like a hurt feeling. I was like,
Okay.
oh my God, this isn't true. Right? When I say hurt, because I know a lot of people will use this in different ways. I wasn't mad at anybody. I was like, it was just like, it's like, oh dang, it hurt. Like, it's like, oh dang, everything I thought was real for 18 years of my life. It's like, oh crap, it's not real. I don't know. It's maybe when did you find out Santa Claus wasn't real? Like maybe that's like an equivalent of it. I don't know.
All right. All right. So yeah, no, I understand that. Um,
What does it make you
but
think?
I would also say that uh, ultimately, whether we're conscious of it or not, maybe um, the decision to swing to a belief is on us.
Can
And
you explain
however we
how?
come to that decision, and my only argument to that effect would be saying, or my only evidence to that effect is to say, if you spend 50 years trying to figure out a certain thing to do
Hmm.
and you decide to do it and realize that it's wrong after implementing the plan, uh, is that even though you made that decision over a span of 50 years rather than a span of a millisecond when I said that word that made you
Hmm.
that made it click. What's the difference between a millisecond and 50 years, I guess is my question, do you think? Do you think that do you still I guess first I guess I should ask if you in 50 years do you think you actually have the choice in that period? Or is it still maybe that last millisecond where after 50 years you say, no, that's it. You're right.
um, I would just since we're on this free will part, I want to make sure that I'm focusing on that part. So
Right.
there's a chemical makeup of my brain, my body at this very moment in time that is the consequence of every interaction that I've ever had. Right? So
Correct. I agree.
now you would assume that you have control over all of those interactions, but the chemical in my brain right now makes me want to talk to you. What if it didn't? What could I do about it? What if I have the and there are people like this that hate doing what I'm doing and they won't do it. So what is the difference between my chemical makeup and my brain that makes me want to come speak to people on the internet, and then the difference between the person that doesn't? Like, there is no control in that. That is just what we call your personality. You don't get to choose what your personality is. So what where
Yeah,
I
but
where I go ahead.
I still do think that there's that your personality shines through because of you. I mean, you're not the same as me, and
Right.
I'm out forward and outgoing, and I'm willing to talk to people. But at the same time, I'm not you. I don't sound like you. I don't look like you. I don't act like you. I don't ask the same questions as you. I
Yeah.
don't move
But what
forward.
but
So in the
what
same
but
way,
let's
you're
focus on
still the
something we
fully
both like to do, which is speak to each other, right?
right.
Okay. We don't like do you think you are the one that chose that you like to speak to people? Or did you just like to speak to
Yeah,
people?
I do think it's me who I like to that it's me who decides that I like to talk to and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because sometimes when I don't want to talk to people and I sit in the corner and don't, you know.
Right. But that's like the okay, I'm glad you gave a split, a difference there. Like, you split. So why does that buck want to go sit in the corner and then the other buck want to go talk? The only thing that I can use as evidence is I would be able to scan your brains, and at those two times, your brains are at different states. You literally didn't choose either of those states. You just are that state at that moment, and there's consequences of being in that state. Imagine, like, have you ever been so pissed off like you would do some bad stuff?
Oh, many times.
Right. So the difference between you, like, say you didn't do it, right? The difference between you and the guy that's in jail is chemicals. Because
Chemical only, you think?
I've wanted to harm some people and I didn't. But
Yeah.
there's times that I've been in fights also, and during those moments, you're almost not there. Like I've been in fights where I just remember being in a fight and then being on the other side. Like there's just boom. And we notice these moments when it's usually bad. Like, I think that's like the best way to put it. Like, if there's like somebody that gets so angry they go do something horrible, you will talk to that person, and a lot of the times they will say they're in some kind of zone. And not even bad. Let's take away the bad for a second. It's also like when I was an athlete, There would be
Uh-huh.
times when I was playing basketball, people were saying I was doing these crazy, amazing things, and I was just floating in my body. Like it was just you know what I mean? It was just this focus that I had. I call it Mamba, by the way, because I'm a Kobe fan. Just so all y'all know. If you ever want to
Yes.
make me feel good, just call me Mamba because that's literally the only man that I've ever kind of worshipped a little bit. But anyways, anyways, so it's just like yeah, Mamba mentality, man. You get into this mode and like you literally are so focused, everything else around you is silent. Like I can't that's not something that you can just do. It just happens. Have you never heard that? You're like I don't know
Uh,
if you have,
Absolutely. I'm a musician and I get into a zone
oh,
from time
great.
to time. I did play a little bit of football, and I never really could say that I got into a zone at that time. I was, I was not
I was the 3-point shooter back in the day when they hated threes.
yeah.
Like they used to hate 3-pointers. So I was that guy that they hated. But
I had
there
this physique when I was 16, and I tried to play fullback, and that ain't gonna work, right?
so there's something called like the zone when you're a shooter. And you see people like Steph Curry is a perfect example. He'll just throw the ball up and walk away. And like that's like the zone where you just
Right.
you literally have no freaking control that ball's going in. It's going in. Like that
And
basketball is going in.
and as a musician, I can say, man, when I start playing some riffs, and then I just kind of forget about what I'm doing, or don't focus consciously on what I'm doing. I know I'm in the zone because people are feeling it and dancing and swinging and you know.
All right, now let's tie this into where the subject started, which is the Bible, right? So, what part about you didn't like? Not maybe you didn't like it, but what part made you want to talk about free will with the Job video?
Well, because I was hearing you saying things like, well, okay, so here's a great example. Uh, eh, the devil gets to go around killing people in the story of Job.
Yep.
Sure. And yes, he does trample on the free will of all of the individuals. The devil does tramples on the free wills of all
You
the
say the devil
individuals
does. I
he
say they both
kills.
do. I actually say God does. Let me be fair on that. God does.
Uh, and I recognize that you say that, and I say this. I say the story is a story because, like I told you, I don't necessarily
Yeah.
believe that that's the way it factually went down. I think the story tries to make sense from a human perspective, and I don't think we have it right. Um,
Okay.
I certainly don't. So don't ask me for answers. But at the same time, I'm not going to try
Well,
and
let's break down the Job story, right?
but
Let's say both sides. Let's say your side, and I'll let you explain that. What were the because you don't believe it's factual. You believe it's a story. So what were the authors trying to show us?
um, I I think by using Job as your central character and not worrying about the other people within the story, such as his children, um, we can understand that story to be sort of uh, a a test he was presented with, and that from all accounts, it seems as though he seemed to have passed by staying steadfast in his belief, and staying true to his faith in God, despite all of the issues going on around him.
Why do you
Now,
think
as far as
they added the devil to it? Because I think we could have had that story without the devil being involved.
I, I, I agree, but I think rhetorically it makes it better to make God being good and the devil being bad. If you give it two different entities, then we're
Yeah.
worshiping the good, we're not worshiping both.
So who
I
would
mean, I don't know.
who is more likely to make this story, God or people?
Oh, people made this story 100%.
Right. So this is how I started my deconstruction on Job is one of my biggest ones. Um because no matter what, the only way I could make sense of it is that people wrote it. And then as soon as I find that people wrote one thing in the Bible, I no longer can trust the Bible at all.
But
If if
but
if
here's
if
my
one
thing.
story, go ahead. Yep.
Here's my only thing is that as if I take the Bible as any other piece of literature, and there are pieces of literature that give me um under transcendental understanding or uh fulfillment in my own well-being, or something in my heart is moved, something like that happens in all kinds of literature,
Yeah.
and the Bible is also literature and does the same thing
I
to
mean,
me.
it happens when people go watch the Avengers. They're crying in the theaters.
Sure, and exactly, seeing moments in the Avengers when I was like, wow, that's cool, that's profound. I'm not afraid to limit profundity to the Bible. I think we can find it in The Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and everything else. I have no problem with all of that. I don't believe that all of those stories are exactly the truth as to how things happened, but I believe that an underlying element within that story about
Job.
um, valor or about uh, um, justice or something like that can move me into a way to say, okay, and bring me closer to God. And that's why I don't like the idea of closing off the Bible where, where the Bible says don't add or take away from anything. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but
Why
if
should God stop
why
talking to people?
why do we pick out the things that make us more comfortable with our everyday lives and then kind of because to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you are not appreciating what you're saying as much as you appreciate what you wanted to say. Because to me, it's just like, no, all of this crap we've ever made up about supernatural stuff is all from us. There has never been any proof of this supernatural things happening, and we are literally making up stories since the beginning of communication between social creatures. Like
So I guess,
there's zero proof that there's anything godlike or supernatural.
did you see uh The Breakfast Club?
I have seen it, yeah.
Um there were moments in that movie that were quite profound, especially as a teenager at the time I saw the movie.
Okay.
Um, would I say they're gospel? No. Would I say you have to live your life by it? No. All right. Let's look at the story of Job. There's things in that story that are inspiring, even though there's tragedy within them. Um,
I don't know if I find that story inspiring unless I adopt
well,
the
it doesn't
point of
show
the
much
whole
of
Bible. I think
it
the
doesn't
story
show
is
much of the
horrible actually.
reward, I guess, and that's something too, is that is that a lot of people are working towards some reward, whether it's a reward in heaven or a reward of being right or whatever it means to be rewarded to you. I believe that we act a lot on reward and not
So
on
how about we go
what
through
we
the
should do.
story and you tell me when there's something good in the story.
Well, okay, let's see.
So at the
Um,
beginning, you got Job, which is a righteous man, the best among God's people at the time, right?
well, Yeah, it's the story. The story's about a human understanding of it, and how do you tell the story? How should they have told the story?
Um,
I mean, at this point, we're kind of deciding how we should tell the story. I would say, to your point, the end of the story doesn't give us much of a climax. It's just, yeah, he ends up being faithful all the way to the end of his days. And it doesn't even talk about heaven for him. For him, he just is faithful unto the end of his days.
right, but
What kind of reward is that, really?
okay, but you're telling me there's something good in this story. I'm saying the whole story is horrible.
Well, I would say that it's an etymology of understanding why the world is the way it is.
Okay,
That the devil didn't
understanding
have
it under like
it,
a reason why the world is bad. Okay, but it doesn't make the story have anything good in it, though, right? I thought you were saying there's something good in this story. I'm saying the whole story is horrible. It's like a if it wasn't in the Bible, it would just be considered like a horror story. Like somebody surviving Michael Myers coming to murder them. That
let
story's
me
not nice. Like
have
like you get what I'm saying? Real
you ever
fast?
read Blood Meridian?
Actually I know, I've never heard that one.
All right. This is probably one of the darkest stories you'll ever read in your life.
Okay.
Um, it's about a kid who um, um, a kid in the mid 1800s who moves down, who runs away from home. Basically, they don't explain exactly how he separates, but he goes away from home at about 14 years old and runs off with this gang of scalp hunters. And in the just shortly after the Mexican American War. And so they go around, they're supposed to be scalping Comanches, and they start scalping all kinds of everybody. This is probably the darkest story you'll ever read, and some of the worst stuff you've ever heard from humanity. But,
Okay.
but, from the worst character within this story, Judge Holden, comes some of the most profound and intricate stories of humanity that he tells. So
Okay.
let me say this: the Glanton game, the whole story, everything that every character does in this story is absolutely horrific, and you would not celebrate any one of these people.
Okay.
But some of these stories that come out from the other characters give you an insight into humanity that's deeper than if you didn't listen to their racist bullshit rhetoric.
Okay. Like I mean I
I
think we agree up to this point, but I don't know how that makes it good.
all I'm saying is that the story itself, that particular story itself, the Blood Meridian, has nothing but horrible things to tell you, except that there's a lot of beauty within it in a lot of different ways.
Beauty.
Job is probably less successful at that,
Can
but
you go back to what's the beauty part? I think a lot of okay, let me say this real fast and then respond please. Um what we do as human beings, right? I think
yep,
about like I talk to a lot of my friends and we've had these kind of discussions about slavery.
okay.
The only reason we say Rosa Parks' story, not Rosa Parks, I'm sorry, Harriet Tubman's story is beautiful is because of all of the horrible shit that was going on. I keep saying Rosa Parks. Should Harriet Tubman have to have helped people be freed? No. It's horrible that she had to do that. Because she did it does not make the story beautiful to me. I think it's a horrible story. Like, I don't even care. Like, not that I don't care. Let me not say that. I 100% am. It's awesome that people chose to fight against something evil. Yes. That does not make the story nice to me. Like, I don't feel happy that they had to create the Underground Railroad to help people escape. That still makes me feel shitty. I don't find inspiration from that like other people find it. I find horribleness in it because it's required, because everybody is so shitty.
So that brings us back to the free will, because yes, you have free will. Even as a slave, yes, you do have free will. To the extent
I
that
disagree
you
with
are
that
allowed,
one.
to the extent that you are allowed to make a certain choice, even if that means I can do what you tell me or I can die.
That's not free will
You
to
still
me, and I
have the
think that's
choice
our
to make
problem.
that.
I think that's our problem with me and a lot of other people. I think I'm one of the weird ones on this, because I think a lot of people think slaves had free will. I say slaves had zero free will. As soon as you're a slave, you have zero free will. And I know almost maybe everybody would disagree with me on that, because we have different perceptions of free will in the first place. I already think free will is BS anyway. But the
Right.
illusion
So
the
what is free
illusion of the
will?
free will. There is no
So
such
what is
thing as
free will?
there's nothing. There is no such thing as free will.
Well, I guess my question is what is your definition of free will? Because that's what
Oh,
my
to me,
problem with
it's an
your use
illusion.
of it.
It's an illusion, right? Like nature, for whatever reason, evolution for whatever reason has worked out this way. I'm not going to say chosen, because I don't think it's choosing anything. Evolution, it's better for us to feel like we are in control. For whatever reasons, that is the case. Most of nature, guess what, does not have that feeling. Most of nature, like a tree, it just does. The planets, all of these molecules and stuff, they just do. Like, they're not choosing anything. Like, they're just doing. Like, it just does, and it not even does. Sorry, it just happens. Right?
My dog just gets up. She doesn't decide to. She doesn't. She doesn't.
There are chemicals in your dog's brain that control the dog. The dog cannot do anything without the chemicals in their brain wanting them to, not wanting, I hate to use these words. The chemicals in the brain have to be set in a certain way that the dog gets up. Because guess what happens when I take out, like, say I could take out every chemical in your brain. Do you think you would be able to do anything?
No, but I wouldn't be able to communicate with you, and I wouldn't be able to follow what you tell me to do either.
Hence, no free will.
That's no free will, sure. I mean, at that point, you don't have any control over anything.
But you
I'll say
never
this.
had control over those things, Buck. That's my point. You never had control over the chemicals in your brain. So if we're saying that I can mess with your brain and you no longer have free will, I am saying that is what's always going on.
I don't think you're messing with the chemicals in my brain if you restrain me from doing things I want to do.
Yeah. So say I tied you up, your brain chemicals would start changing because you are in a different situation. So you would chemically start changing, and then say I tied you up for a very long time, you are no longer the same person as you were before I tied you up without you doing anything. Like, if I just kept you tied up for, I don't know, 15 years, do you think you're the same person as I'm speaking to right now?
But still, I'm making all of those choices throughout it. If you think about the Count of Monte Cristo, got stuff trapped in a prison for however long, planned his entire revenge.
Yes, but what
You
about
know,
what about the person that doesn't have the chemicals to plan the revenge? What's the difference?
he still had the free will. He just didn't have
No,
the
he doesn't.
chemicals.
He didn't have the free will because his brain would have never convinced. He never would have. He never would have wanted to.
Your free will is limited. Like I
what's
said, you can walk to the edge of a cliff and decide you're going to fly, but are you?
okay? What about okay? Let's do the flying. There are birds. All right, what is the bird that like it tries to fly but it can't? There's it'll like kind of go up a little bit. I forgot what birds do that. They don't really fly though. It's like they kind of jump and like
Ostrich, those are the big ones.
like
Penguins flap in the air, and they ain't
like
going nowhere.
like they can't fly, man. Like there's no free will for them to fly. They can't do it.
That's not
Like,
free will. That's just physics. Free will is the choice.
no, but they have the tools. They think they have the tools. Like it's like, but they can't do it,
that's
bro.
not free will. That's not free will. That's circumstance. That's where you're already.
Well, no. I'm sorry. I get your point.
This is my issue.
Okay, go ahead.
Where
Go
we're
ahead.
mixing up.
Go ahead.
We're mixing up the circumstance from the free will. Your free will is limited. You do have it. That's my opinion. Okay, you
Yes,
have
I know
free
that's your
will,
opinion.
and you and I've been thinking about this quite a bit because I heard Alex O'Connor talking about free will, and he says it doesn't exist, and he says the reason for that is because every single decision that he would make is contingent upon something else.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right. But I don't think that that's necessary. I still think you have the choice in the moment to do this or that according to within the limits.
All right. I need to get like a Microsoft Paint up here. All right. So I always do this, and I've done this at work. If you've been with me at work, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody that's in here, I like to draw a picture or like boxes, and
oh, I can't see. You should turn your camera on.
No, I don't have paint up here. It's okay. You can't see me on the stream?
No, I see where you are, where you would be, but
okay. Yeah, because I don't know if
I go to YouTube.
Yeah, it'd be weird for me to have my Discord camera on and this camera. So, anyways, who cares? It doesn't matter. What I like to do is draw boxes. And what I imagine is not free will is the fact that there's a buck box, right? There's a box that's buck, and we're just going to call that box buck. Unfortunately for box. Gotcha. Unfortunately for Buck, everything that Buck could ever be or do is in this box. But what I haven't told you is that you're in a bigger box. And this bigger box has other traits that other people have. But unfortunately for you, like let's just say Buck could never be a serial killer. It's because Buck is in this box that does not include serial killing. You won't do it because you aren't capable of doing it. But what's the difference between you and the person that's the serial killer? It's chemicals in their brain that are slightly different that allow them to be able to do these things. That is what I am saying is what you're calling choice. I am saying is only a chemical that is in somebody else's brain that's not in yours. And you're like, how could that person do that? And I'm like, oh, I know why that person could do that because their chemical makeup is different than yours.
So then my question would be, what is actually the chemical imbalance? What chemical is imbalanced?
I mean, we're finding out some chemicals that make people act certain ways. We're finding out some brain structures, how certain people's brains are. They studied what's his name's brain, I believe, Jeffrey Dahmer or something. I think they studied his brain a little bit, and
don't they have to consent to it?
I'm sorry. Maybe it wasn't Jeffrey Dahmer, by the way, but I'm pretty sure we've been doing studies on like psychopaths' brains, and they're different.
Junior Seau killed himself and shot himself in the heart so that they could study his brain because
he had the But that's you know what? We don't even have to. I mean, that is dark what happened. But what about that, right? We have proof of people that bash their heads all the time change, and they did not have control over the change. That's another proof
Sure
of what
they
I'm
did.
saying.
They kept bashing their head. They had
This
control.
this is where we're disconnecting right there. Like what
Well,
makes
I mean,
some
they still
what
had control at the moment.
but what makes some people want to take that risk and the people that don't? What's the
Well,
difference?
then that chemical would have to have been there to begin with.
The
Some
chemi- the,
chemical
the
that would
chemical
make
the
him say, "I
chemical to
want to
want to
bash
bash
your
your head,
head."
right? Yes. The chemical to want to bash your head or be okay with bashing your head is not in my head. I don't control that. I can't wake up one day and be like, I want to bash my head unless the chemicals are already there to do that.
Let me say this. When
Okay.
I was a teenager, I thought football was the greatest thing in the world. I went and played for a season, and I did an Oklahoma drill against the quarterback
Okay.
and thought, this is going to be nothing. And I went head to head with him, and that guy stood me up and turned me on my back.
Okay.
Um, and that's when I realized that I didn't have the chemical makeup to do that shit.
But in that moment, you had the chemical makeup of somebody that wanted to try it.
Right. Was that free will or was that a chemical imbalance
Do you want to
or
call it free
balance?
will? I think we would be saying the same thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Whatever people want to call free will, I am still saying it's chemicals.
I don't
I,
know that I can argue with it. I don't know that I could argue that it's not chemical, but I could definitely say it's your choice. You decide to make that, you decide to run head to head with that quarterback, and you're going to learn something or you're not.
all right, so we can continue the conversation further and not repeat ourselves. What do you think is not your free will? Give me some
Not
examples
my
of when
free
you
will.
don't like when you don't have free will. I'll need some examples of that.
So I don't, well, no, I have free will within the chemical makeup of my mind. I may not have free will when it comes to whether or not I pay the rent, whether or not I speed in the car, whether or not I do drugs at home, all of those sorts of things that can can cause problems
Okay.
for with other people. I mean, once you start including other people's will, then that's when will starts infringing upon other people. That's my thought. I think that I have free will and you have free will. And when we have a conflict, then we're going to test our wills and decide who's going to prevail.
Yeah, this is a tough one, and I love this conversation, but it's always tough. Um, because I still don't think you gave me a point where you don't have free will. I think it's hard for somebody that thinks we have free will to ever say when you don't. I think that's where our big problem is.
Well, because I think at least until the point I die, I feel that it to me intuitively it feels to me like I'm making the choice, whether it's a split second bad decision or a 25-year bad decision or good decision. In either case,
Oh,
it
this
doesn't
might help
matter.
you.
I'm my own free will.
I've helped someone. I don't have to say who they are, but I helped somebody and went through with somebody's psychosis. That person did not have control. Like I can say that person did like the stuff like I could share some crazy shit. That person did not have control. They were believing in the most insane things and they did not have control of it. And
And
until we got their chemicals how they needed to be in order to change, they could not see differently, they could not hear differently, and they literally had no choice but to be that person they were.
uh, let me say this: I'm going to consider that action because I know some people who went through some pretty deep changes themselves, but I would have to think that their will was still in there. but I do think that um, you did bring up a good point there, and I would like to consider that a little bit more.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I
Uh,
bring this up as far as this is normal to me, by the way. I think that is what our belief in God is too. It's a psychosis in a way. That's why I made that video with Madeline O'Hara. O'Hare,
right.
O'Hare. Like, I was like, you know what? Why don't we consider believing in God a psychosis? It literally is a psychosis. You are telling
Well,
me
well,
that there is something that I can't see. You can see it. You
a
get what
lot
I'm
of them,
saying?
a lot of them people out there who believe in Jesus. If I went over to them and said, "Hey, man, I just saw Jesus. He just was on the cloud. You better watch your shit," they'd lock me up.
I don't know if they would lock
You
you
know?
up. You can say you can say you saw Jesus and be fine. If you walk around saying you saw the devil, then people might do some shit to you.
Oh,
But like think about it,
I don't
Buck.
know.
We literally
It
have
depends on what I'm
presidents.
saying. We better get what I start doing because of it.
Well, I know,
If
but
I saw
we
Jesus, man,
literally have presidents. We have governing bodies that literally say there are angels and demons. Buck, that's psychosis, man. Like we
I,
have people in charge, Buck, that are telling you that there are demons and angels that rule the world, Buck. Any
I
like
didn't put them there.
but I'm saying like this isn't even just the people he voted for because it's like it's both sides that say some shit like this. So it's just
I
like,
I recognize that, and I didn't put any of them there.
oh, okay, fair. We did talk about voting, that's right. But it's just like that's a psychosis, man.
No, you're right. We all have a psychosis, and that is crazy. I mean, like I said, if I mean, look at me, I'm Buck. I mean, if they saw me and I went out there saying, "Hey, I just talked to Jesus, and Jesus told me you guys better get in line,"
Hey,
they'd either lock me up or I'd have a cult.
you'd have a big following. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. That's like even like me and my buddy were joking at work. He's like, "Hey, bro, if you decided you wanted to make money, he's like, just go MAGA or go Jesus, and then everybody would start watching your shit." That's what the dude told me. And he's probably right because it's we want that more than any truth. Like we want something to just be so simple, right? Like we want it to be simple, and when in reality, this shit is crazy. Like
Yeah.
what's going on is crazy, which is why I am so against making up things. Like things that we can't prove. I think we need to just get rid of it because it's already too crazy, man. Like
I
life is already too crazy. We don't need to be
as an
making up
artist, I have
stuff.
to disagree with that because that's where all the art comes from. I mean, we make stuff up.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You're right. Okay, let me be fair. I should have said this better. I mean, make stuff up as far as rules in our society should not be determined by any of these kind of things that we can't prove.
Now
Now,
that I agree with.
if everybody was to say, "Hey, the Bible is like music," I don't have anything to say anymore. If that's what everybody said, hey, the Bible's like music. It makes you feel this and that, and you just listen to it, but you don't go into the world and act like I don't know. There's some horrible music back in the '90s. Like, it's like you don't go into the world and start acting like a gangster because you like the music, right? And that's why I would be against gangster music because it made a lot of people do stupid shit. And it was only music, but people really listened to it and people really behaved in certain ways because of it, right? So it's the same thing with other things.
Because this is where I'm saying that there's so many other gods out there, and it could be your rap god, it could be your president, it could be uh your your basketball star. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's different
You will
things.
replace God with some other thing.
Here's what I would say to that. I used to agree with that statement until I realized this. Let me know what you think. Uh, God is literally us. Like, that's all I heard, right? What you just said, it's you are God. You will make something else that you like God because, like, why don't people ever pick God as like something they don't like? Maybe that's what I should ask. Why isn't God the devil? Nobody says that.
It is for some.
Huh? Say that again.
Some people do worship the devil. Some people
But
do
no, no,
say
but
that.
no, no. They worship the devil in a good way. Like, why isn't anyone worshiping some being like that they literally feel will destroy
I,
them no matter what?
I think people worship whatever they worship with
Yeah,
some
that's my point. They worship
with
themselves.
their own weird ideas, and that could be good, bad, or whatever, sideways.
But
But I think
like,
that
there might be some outliers. Maybe I'm not saying correctly. I'm hoping you hear this part. Like, why aren't we like? Why isn't Christianity this thing that praises all of us going to hell?
why isn't it what now?
Why doesn't it praise all of us going to hell? Like, why isn't that the
Uh,
religion?
well, because it goes against the rhetoric
Well,
of what the
it goes
power
against
structure is
it.
trying to do, not because of Christianity in and of itself, but because
Okay,
of who's running Christianity at the time
but no,
and whether
if I talk to a Christian right now, they're gonna make hell sound nice.
because they buy into the politics of it. It's a social identity marker. It's
Social. So
be a
that goes.
Christian is not just to be a Christian personally, it's to be with a community of people who are going to have my back, just like the Reds and the Bloods and the Crips, just like that.
Why do most people choose that though? I think that's my point. Why are we choosing the thing that is beneficial for us and not the thing that's worse?
Why do the kids choose Bloods or Crips?
They think it benefits them.
There you go.
They're fooled. But that's my point, Buck. I'm saying the only things we choose are what we already wanted to choose. So the reason that you like maybe not you. All right, so then God doesn't exist. We are God. We made it up.
I look, I do think we made it up, but I personally think that God is working through all of this.
Well, wait, no, no,
I don't think we have a clue as to what it's about.
But where does like
So
okay?
to try
So
and say that God
where
should be there holding our hand and making sure that we're safe and sound
where does
is
God come in
irrelevant to
though?
me.
Like from what we just spoke about, we agree that we're making up a lot of this crap.
Yeah,
Why can't we
you and I
just be
do.
why
You and
can't
I
we
do.
yeah, me and you, yeah. Why can't it just be wrong then? Why do we play this game of like, well, I kind of want it to be right, so I'm going to say we could still be right. Like
That's that that's where politics has gone bad because everybody can't be wrong. You can't concede a point to the other side and still look reputable to your own.
uh wait, why are we saying that? Like I think me and you
It's
right
a
now could
social
admit
identity
being
marker.
wrong, right? Like me and you could admit being wrong on something.
You and I can, but like I said, politically, if you and I were running for something, we would avoid every way we could to say, "Yeah, you're right, I
Oh,
was wrong."
yeah, but whose fault
In
is
that
that?
case, you and I would be talking about, well, mistakes were made, as
Yeah,
opposed to saying, "I was wrong."
cool, but whose fault is that? Because it still proves, or sorry, it still goes towards my point on who's making all this shit up. Us. So the reason the president is
Which also proves your free will because you can decide to believe or not to
no,
believe or to believe in Toby or whatever.
we can't. I'm saying like that was my point to this whole little story here. There's something in our chemicals that make us want to the story to be what benefits us. And
But I think
there's very few people that have the chemicals in their brain to choose bad for themselves. Like most
oh,
people choose
I've
what's
made plenty
right
of
for
bad
themselves.
decisions.
No, no, no. But you usually make a bad decision by thinking it's good for you in the moment.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So that's the same thing I'm saying is that's what religion is, Buck. Like we made up stuff that we think benefits us because not understanding something sucks.
I think religion is that, yes.
Well,
But
wait,
I
you say
think
religion, but that's still God, Buck.
no, it's not.
Why
No, it's
not? Why
not.
not? That I know
Religion
that's where we
religion is
separate.
the human structure of identity politics and a common belief structure so that you and I can go to the same place and recognize the same God and get the same blessings, at least in a fictitious manner. That's what it's about. And vote the same way
Who
and, you
go ahead,
know,
go ahead.
regulate our communities the same way. And those are the key things about religion. Uh, God is transcendent above that. As in my view, God is above that,
Okay.
and
In
he has no time for all of that crap.
in everything that you just said, where is there any reason why I should have made up a God? And that I agree with everything you said just then about how religion works, all of that. Where in any of that shows me that there's a reason to say there's an actual God?
Nothing there is going to tell you that, because you have to have that moment, that experience of connection with God.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
what is that experience? Just give me yours. What did that experience feel like? Like your experience, because you obviously believe in God.
my
So what was
experience
that
was
experience
I
like?
felt enlightened. I felt as though he was there. I didn't feel as though he was going to protect me from anything and everything,
Okay.
but I did feel that he was there and was willing to help guide me. And I made it a lot further than I thought I would have made it by then.
But did you see what
So
you chose? Remember how this started, this new conversation we're having. Why didn't you choose that God is there to leave you alone? You chose God there to help you. Why?
because of because I chose it,
Yep, no,
because
because
I
that's what you needed.
sure,
Right. So
sure,
we
and
literally
it presented
right, but
it,
we're
it came to me
the
in a profound way.
right, but why wasn't the profound way like, hey, there's like why isn't there anyone that ever says, "Hey, God spoke to me and God told me he doesn't give a shit about any of us?" Why does no one ever say that? Like why
I
doesn't
might
God ever
argue
talk
that
to
someone
anybody?
never said that. I've heard that from a few folks.
Well, no, no, I'm saying I've
Uh,
never heard someone say they actually spoke to God or saw God and then said something bad. Every time I hear somebody say speaking to God, it's always something nice. Even if like
I
even
don't
the
know.
people that had well, hold on, sorry.
I've
Even the
heard
people
people
that
say
had
I've talked to God, and
oh, one second. I'll let you finish. Even the people that say like they had NDEs and they went to hell, it's always presented in still some redeeming story. Why aren't the NDEs like, hey, all y'all are going to hell, ain't nothing y'all can do? Why isn't ever that story?
um, well, I think it's. hmm, I guess I'd be speculating quite a bit to say this, but I would say probably because I don't know what is inside someone else's mind to motivate them to say something.
Well, no, but
But
I'm
I
saying
would
we
think,
use the experiences of other, like say everybody's experiencing NDEs and they're all happy. We use that as evidence. Why I am like, well, wait, like of course that makes sense because we don't want to die. Like we that's in our nature. We don't want to die. Like that's what nature does. It tries to survive. So nature would come up with the not come up. I hate using these words. Nature works in the way that our chemical makeup makes us want to survive. That's why it's very hard to kill yourself. Like if you try to drown yourself, you will try to survive even if you don't want to. It's like there's something in us that wants the survival, right? So it makes sense to me that all of these stories we make up never are stories that, like, let's just take the Christian Bible real fast, Buck. If the Bible is true, God is evil, and a lot of people are going to hell. Almost everyone's going to hell. That is an evil God. Yet, there are people that make that book into happiness. when 99% of all humans that have ever existed are going to be burning forever? And because our brains work in this way, we have a small group of people that think they aren't a part of the 99, by the way. That's always hilarious. No one's ever the one going to hell, too. Choose to make that story into something beautiful. But in
Yeah.
reality, do you think, Buck, let me just ask, give me an honest answer. Is I forgot how many people have ever existed, we think. But do you think that 99% of all humans that have ever existed going to hell is a beautiful story?
No, but I don't read the story that way either. But no, I don't believe that.
Right. I know you
I,
don't,
I
but I'm saying, but that, like, do you see why, even with that story facing all of these people, they make it into a beautiful story?
yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't know if you know much about Tom Waits, but he
No.
has a tendency. He has a tendency to write stories, beautiful, uh, beautiful melodies with horrible stories to them.
Is it like
Um,
some dark? I forgot what those are called. Not dark comedy, but
just well, I don't know. He's kind of an avant-garde musician, but he writes. I don't know. He
somebody
writes
said
stories with
Tom Waits is
cute
a
little
sad
love
man.
song themes, the idea of it, and then he tells you some horrible story where somebody died in a in a car crash, and
Okay.
it's some crazy stuff.
All right. Go ahead. Give me your point to that when I cut you off.
But the point is that we like beautiful melodies telling us sad stories as people.
Yeah, I agree. Why
And
do you think
because
we
of
like
that,
that?
we can find hope for ourselves within them. Maybe. I mean,
Right.
uh,
But that makes
your guess
sense.
is as good
That
as
makes
mine
sense.
there.
That makes sense naturally, right?
Hmm.
That doesn't make sense about God.
Well, look, I don't think God makes sense, so I don't think that's too much of a stretch for me to accept. I mean, I don't think God makes sense. So I think that's why I think apologetics is stupid, because I'm like, why should it make sense? It doesn't. It's not supposed to. It's told you it's not gonna.
Right, but where are we getting these answers from? Where did you get that answer from? Like the fact that apologetics aren't going to make I'm sorry, the fact that it's not going to make sense. Where did that come from? How does Buck know that?
Because I've tried to wrestle with a lot of things that just don't make sense. Like you said, um, the two creation stories that caused. Just so you know, that caused a big problem with me and the wife the other day,
Uh-oh.
because
Uh-oh.
because I kept bringing up the fact that there's two different stories here. Which happened? Which is first? Were people here and then animals came, or or did the animals get here before the people? Because there's two different accounts in the story.
Yeah.
Um, it also included three, so it also had to bring in the snake whole thing. So yeah, I had a whole bunch of stuff to say about that. Um, that it didn't make sense. I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense the way it is written. Uh, so
Sure. Go ahead.
what are we going to glean from this story ourselves? Like, what am I going to glean from the X-Men? What am I going to glean from Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? And all of those things have valuable stories within them.
Right,
Would
but no,
But
we
nobody
agree
would
we
say they're
agree on
canon.
that.
Nobody would live their life by them.
Okay, we're agreeing right now, but I'm confused on um crap, what was my question again? Um Dang it. The whole point of this,
You asked
like,
how I came to the conclusion that God was that God didn't make sense.
oh yes, and what I heard is that you came to the conclusion by your own experiences.
Right, by my own experience, by my own deliberation, my own free will, chose to decide that, in my view, chose to decide that we didn't that God doesn't make sense. I mean, the story as it is
Yeah,
written
right. You
doesn't
say
make
God
sense.
doesn't make sense, but who are the people? Or sorry, we are the ones that made up God in the first place. So once I say God doesn't make sense, this is the difference between me and you, and that's it. It could be chemicals in our brain, by the way, Book. Like I
Right.
can't, I literally can't do anything about how when I hear what you say, I'm literally like,
Yep.
yes, then God doesn't exist. That's like when you say that, I'm like, yes, God just doesn't exist. You're right. I agree with you. That's what's so crazy about this. I agree with everything that you're saying, and then I'm like, Buck, that is the proof that God doesn't exist. And you're telling me, yeah, you agree with me. I don't know why you don't think God exists. And I'm it's like wait, it's insane. I'm like, you are literally telling me that humans have made up everything, but for some reason, you get to the end of that and you're like, well, there's still this God that we made up, though. And I'm like, wait,
Well,
this whole time we said
well,
we made up everything.
I do think, look, this is my personal belief. I can't prove you anything, but my personal belief is that God speaks to us. God speaks to me through you, even though you and I are in disagreement on whether or not God exists.
Okay.
But because I have this conversation with you, I'm learning um, about God and about my relationships around me, and I'm learning about my relationship with you. I'm learning about all kinds of things, and I think that's where God is working, and that's my personal opinion. I
And
don't think he's
I say it's you working, but I say
well.
you are
Well,
working.
I mean, but you told me I don't have free will, so
You
it's
can
only chemicals that
you
are
have
in my
no.
head that are
You're
driving me.
correct. You have no choice, but it's still you. There's a reason that you have this urge to do things, and it's because you have. And let me just be fair to you on this, since I can't prove my exact non-free will thing. I will grant you this: you are at the will of whatever Buck wants to do. If you call that free will, okay. I'll just grant that you call that free will. All I am saying is Buck will do what Buck is going to do. You, to me, are a passenger inside of Buck, and I hate using those words. I don't mean it how anybody wants to make it. I'm not saying there's some spiritual thing going on. I am just using metaphors to help people picture it. That's all.
So my next question, it would beg it, would be to ask you, do you think I'm predestined to exist the way I do?
Yep.
So
we
you do
we
believe
we,
in
we were we were
predestined?
we were always going to talk, but not in the way that it's some spiritual thing. It's literally because
Just
of
wait.
because of
Just
the
a
Big Bang.
coincidence that we're going to build to this.
The Big Bang, me and you were always going to talk. I do believe this. Yes.
All right. So you believe in predestiny?
Yeah, but I don't like the phrase because you're making it like somebody else is involved.
Well, I'm willing to say
I'm not saying
I'm
that.
willing to say it's chemical. I'm willing to say that, yeah, it's predestiny. Not necessarily that God is orchestrating it, but it's predestiny. Although I would say that that is something that I have found to be fun to trip up a bunch of Christians lots of times,
Yeah.
is to ask them, well, if we have free will, then what's with predestiny?
I mean, people get on me on this all the time, and it's fair. I appreciate the counter to my argument. Is they ask me why I try to change people, and I tell them I have no choice. Like I literally cannot do anything about it. I feel it all the time. Um, like I don't know. Like I'm getting to the
Well, I
point right
wonder if
now
that
that
would
I
work with my wife.
say it again. Go ahead.
I said, I wonder if that would work with my wife. I just don't have a choice, baby.
Hey, doesn't mean there's not consequences. This is the difference between
I get
how,
that.
how
I get that.
okay, yeah. Because people will tell me, well, if there's no free will, do we punish criminals? I'm like, yes, there's no choice. It's still a part of the system. Nothing changes from what I'm saying. Like, life still looks exactly the same. Even if everybody today agreed with me, nothing changes. Like, zero changes. So it's like it's almost irrelevant for me to bring it up, to be fair. I just think it's always an interesting conversation when we talk about the Bible, because I think it's proof that the Christian Bible or any Abrahamic religion is false. Because if we don't even have that control, why would a God punish everybody for something they have zero control over? And you agree with that part already, I think.
Yeah, I think I think that's that. I mean, look, that's the kind of stuff that keeps people coming back for more and trying to figure out, well, how do I figure this out? How do I work? And how do I live on the good side?
Yeah.
You know, how do I
And,
make sure I'm going to make it to heaven? That
and go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
think everybody's striving for a reward of some sort.
Yes,
And
and that sounds like human nature to me.
yeah.
So with that, Buck, I'm gonna get you eventually, Buck. You're gonna join my side. With that, Buck, I am saying if we know all of these things cause other things, what's more likely? That there really is a God and we found out there's really a God, or as human species, it just benefited us to come up with these things for whatever we wanted to our society to be like. And you're correct, we use it to control. But that sounds like humans to me. That makes sense to me. There really being this being makes zero sense. And that's why I'm saying I'm open to it. God can
I guess
any
I
God
guess
can show up to me right now, Buck. Any God, I am open to it. I wish for it. Like
I
I
guess I
really
guess
feel that way.
I guess the thing is like I said, you'll have to have your experience, and I can't force that. I can't make that happen. And and
Well, what about the
it's up
opposite
to you.
experience, Buck? This is what I'm saying. Why does nobody give my experience the same credence? What about me leaving the faith is different from your experience of going to it? That's not fair to me. Like, I think I had an experience and it made me not believe. People say the only experience you can
No,
have, it makes you believe.
I've seen that I've seen it from both sides, and I've seen it from both sides even personally. So I've definitely questioned.
Like, what if
Um,
I'm, but like, seriously, like, what if I'm right, Buck? And the experiences I'm having is nature, I'm doing quotes here, is nature telling me that there's no thing that's not nature. I'm joking, not joking, by the way. But like, why is I really mean it? Like, because I kind of not offensed by you, by the way. I'm always questioning why. It's like I get told, like, "Hey, the Holy Spirit's not in you. That's why you don't see God." Why
well,
can't
I
why
can't.
can't we call the Holy Spirit? Is what I'm thinking, and telling me that the Bible's not true.
Um,
And I'm joking
you
about the
know,
Holy Spirit thing.
I can't answer that. I mean, as far as that goes, I think, like I said, I do think that people have things all wrong. I didn't have a moment uh, because somebody told me you should do this, that, or another. Except that they told me, pray with an open heart, which changed my point of view as to what I was asking and talking about
Okay.
to God. And the answer, the response that I got that I felt was from God, like I said, can always be attributed to coincidence, can be attributed to a caring mother, can be attributed to whatever other worldly cause there, but it gave me an impression of association. And throughout the years, I've maybe looked for and found ways to corroborate that.
Okay.
And I don't think it hurts me too much to live along these things. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to condemn anybody. I'm not trying to tell anybody that they're doing anything wrong.
Right.
So,
You made
as
up
far as I'm
you
concerned,
made up another
they're
religion.
great.
Yeah, but you made up another religion, just like these people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did because I didn't like what they had going on, and I think
Right.
that's
And
what
they and
Joseph
but they didn't
that
like
he's
what was
bringing
going
us
on
up.
before that, Buck, right? Like Jesus, like let's just imagine this. Jesus would have been brought up with other religions, right? Like he knew about
They've been
other
around, yeah.
like he knew about other religions like Greek religions and all like ancient religions. He would have grown up in those things. He didn't like
Right.
those. He made up a different religion. What's the difference?
I think he made up a different religion than the one that he came from.
Right. Yes. So what's the difference? We're just all making it up.
I don't think there is a difference. I mean, look, I don't see, I don't see what you do with your, uh, well, however you cultivate your relationship with God and your community, so much as a problem to me until we start infringing upon each other's rights. In which case, that's where it's an issue for
Right.
me. Um,
Sure.
but for
Okay.
the
Yeah.
most part, however you relate to God, however you don't relate to God, that's not my problem.
Oh yeah, I get
And
that.
not
I'm just saying the
not to
thing
be
that we call
disrespectful
God
to
is
her, or
the
not
thing
even
we call God is the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like as good people, right? Like we both want the world to be better.
yeah.
We both find something that inspires us, and you call it God, I call it whatever. I don't even know what I call it. Uh like but it's the same thing.
Well, I wouldn't say only God inspires me, but I would say God inspires me to some extent. But I would say that I'm inspired by literature and other art and
Yeah, but you say that's
my
God as
wife
well.
and
I thought you said that was still part of God. Maybe I'm wrong.
what's that?
I thought you.
Well, I mean, I do think that our relationship with other people, which includes literature and art and other things, but
Mhm.
also my wife and my relationship with you, all of these things are reflectant are contingent upon God, or not necessarily contingent, but uh affected, or they all affect each other, if that makes sense.
Sure. I mean, that's because we're a
I-
social species, so there's almost nothing you can do that doesn't affect another person. That's just how it works.
right. And so I mean, but I do think that that's part of God's plan. There is that we are supposed to be social
I
and
think.
getting along with each other, and and forgiving each other for the shit that you did to me and I did to you.
One second, sorry. Super chat. Gods are every retreating to spaces we can't investigate. Wherever we can't falsify them due to science, all that's left is spiritual explanations. I would say that I think that's kind of what we're doing here, Buck. Is that if you
Yeah.
could prove it to me physically, you would. Since we no longer can say God is in the clouds or God is on the mountain, you now have to say that God is just in some space that we can't see. So that's a good point. What's the difference between you right now and those people that thought Zeus was throwing lightning bolts in the clouds?
Um. Fundamentally, not much. Uh.
So does that help you with my point on that we're continuing to do the same thing we've always done, yet we're telling those people that they were wrong?
I'm not telling anyone they were wrong.
You don't think
But
Zeus is in the clouds,
I
but
don't
that's
think
what
Zeus
people
is in
thought,
the
right?
clouds, but I understand the logic that they put together to come to that understanding. No, it doesn't mean
Well,
that it was right, but
me and you agree 100% on why they came to that understanding. Yes.
But we
Why?
have new evidence now that I'm aware of. If I didn't know what they didn't know, I might
Yes,
agree with them.
and that's why I don't judge them in that way. But they were wrong, right? Zeus is not in
Um,
the clouds, right?
well, were they? Were they
Are you?
wrong?
I don't know if you're messing with me right now. Do we agree
Well,
that Zeus is not in the clouds?
only factually they were wrong as far as the fundamental, as far as the specifics of how it all works. But were they wrong in the fact that Zeus was mad at him? Maybe they did do something that made Zeus mad at him. You know,
Wait, hold on. There's no way you're saying Zeus exists. I think you're messing with me right now.
it's slightly. A little. Just the idea, the cognitive idea that that's truth, that really is the way it is because of the evidence that they had.
Correct.
The
We
evidence
both
that
we
they.
both agree there. But can you really believe something is true and be wrong? I think we both say yes.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Right. So the
I'm sure
fact
I'm
that
wrong.
the fact that we have more information, that's not their fault. But me and you can both say they were 100% wrong about Zeus throwing lightning bolts. Like they were wrong. I think we can say that with very
Yeah, but
high
okay.
confidence.
Yes, we can factually, but I'm talking about from a cognitive point of view. There
Yeah,
was
but
some
yeah, we're
truth
not
there
worried
that.
about that part though. Like
Okay.
we both agree that they I don't judge them for that, but they were wrong. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there. I'll give you the wrong in the factual sense.
Yeah.
But but
Uh,
but I look at truth differently than just facts.
I look
Um,
at truth when you are telling me that there is something that is true that I can experience. I don't just allow people just to be vague with that, right? So if you're telling me there is some being out there that's personal and wants to have a relationship with me, you don't get to just make it vague anymore because you are the one that's saying it's not vague. Not you personally, maybe you are saying that, but I am saying like if you saying that there is somehow I can have an experience with this being, that means it's provable.
I don't know that I believe that. I agree that you can have an experience, but I don't know that uh, that it can be proven because I think your experience will be different than mine.
Well, you mean I meant
Would
proven
be
to me,
different
right?
than.
You're saying that it can be proven to me through an experience, right?
Right, because something's going to motivate you. Something's going to click in your mind or not.
Right.
Guys, I don't want to decide that
See,
you're going to make
that's when
the
you
decision
see
you're not
you do
going to.
believe me on no free will. See,
Well, no,
it's either gonna click or it
I'm
doesn't.
saying something's going to click in your mind, and I would think that you have some agency in that and
Okay.
deciding whether or not to accept it.
Oh no, see that's where we disagree on that. I don't think I can. I don't have a choice on whether I accept believing something. I don't think that at all. No, I think you might. And correct me if I'm wrong. Do you mean acting? Like
I
actually taking action in what I believe? Because I get that, but I don't believe
uh,
that I
no, I
choose
think
to believe something.
I I I think that even though it's a split second decision when something clicks in your mind,
Hmm.
it is ultimately still your decision to accept it. At some point, something clicks in your mind. Maybe it's predestiny, whatever it is. Something clicks in your mind and changes the first time you heard evolution. That sounds kind of weird and fishy if you just listen to it in a quick synopsis
Okay.
and doesn't make a lot of sense. So you had to corroborate your evidence. You had to understand what was being said. You had to understand um, how that would work. And then it starts to click.
Yeah,
But it takes a
that's what
while. The
starting to
first
believe
time
is
you heard,
though. Like
What's that?
at one moment I didn't believe, at one moment I did. That's it.
Mm, but I think there's more to it than that. I think it's more than just one moment you did and one moment you didn't. I think
So
there's, even
why
if it's the chemicals in your mind that are telling you, "Oh yeah, now it makes sense."
why wouldn't
I
people
still think your
be able
mind is what's
to?
doing it, 'cause I'm not making it happen.
Yeah, but what?
Neither is
Why
your
wouldn't
parent.
people? Why wouldn't people choose to just believe certain things, right? Like I think there would be
It's
a lot of things if we had this much control, right? Like I would, like I hate going to work. I would just believe I like going to work, and it would just happen. Like I would literally choose that right now if I could. I can't. I don't like going to work, and I can
so
pretend all
so
day,
so what do you
but
do what do you do to motivate you to go to work? It's certainly not to listen to yourself
uh,
not to go to work.
I have chemicals in my brain that make me not like not taking care of my family. And there's tons of people that don't have those chemicals and they don't take care of their families. They sit at home. The difference between
I
me and
wonder
those people is the chemicals.
I wonder how much reliance you're putting in chemical, because I do think that chemicals are involved, and I do think that some of them are put there voluntarily, but I do think that um, I still think that there's some human agency involved in
Do you like it better
making
when
these
I
choices.
say because I kind of dumb it down to my chemicals changing, but it's all from experiences. Do you like that better?
It's I get, I understand the it's the same, yeah.
Okay.
Um, and I'm not objecting to that. I'm definitely saying that I still think that somewhere in there you're making a choice.
Yeah, we can agree
Uh,
on that, so we don't go back on the free will. Uh, we can agree that I. It seems like I'm making a choice at least, so I'm just going to grant
eh,
you that I'm making a choice. Um, but my point to that is, it's if I really could choose, there are tons of things I would just choose. It doesn't seem like I can just choose these things. I have to work at it. Let's just say it that way. Like I have to work at it for some reason, which means I don't really have control over it. Because if I had control, I would just believe certain things. Like I don't know if I told you my story. The like people make fun of how I do my videos. I always wanted to be called a robot. Like I always wanted to be a robot because to me having feelings was one of the worst things that there is. I envied people that could just deal with shit and not cry or not care. Like I envied people like that. So it's like if I could have chosen to just not be a sensitive person like I am, I would have, and I've never been able to take that away from myself. But I would have chosen to be a robot if I could. I wish I could. I still wish I could. I would rather be a robot than this person that cares about people, that has to go through all of these emotions. If I had a
so
choice,
why
I
is
would
it? Because
choose.
it makes you feel something that you don't like?
It sucks to care about people. It sucks.
It can suck, but it can be pretty rewarding. Has it been ever rewarding for you to be caring of somebody?
To me, the rewards don't even equate to how much pain it is.
Mm, that's too bad.
You want honest? I'm being honest. If I could choose, I would be a robot. Yes. So when people say, "Do you want to be a robot?" I'm like, "Yes." It would be like I wish we were like ants. Like I wish like we were all just under some control because we are so shitty to each other. Like I wish we were like an ant colony and everybody literally just had to do what was right for everybody else. I honestly wish that was the way it was. It's not. But if I could choose for me to really believe that, I would. But I can't, Buck. I care about
I guess
people.
I guess the thing is I guess at that point you wouldn't care, you wouldn't love, you wouldn't hate, you wouldn't even be mad about nothing.
Yep.
You just do what your job is and move on with your day.
Yeah. Life seems like the world would be a lot better if everybody worked that way.
But do you think it would be as rewarding at all?
Rewards, the reward is the reason we're so shitty towards each other.
Sometimes it can be, yes,
But
but I
that's
don't think that's. I think that the drive of the whatever that making it better for me is different than the rewards of being happy that your daughter just gave birth to your granddaughter, or um, your son married the prettiest girl in school, or whatever, and none of that stuff even matters in the end. But at the end, where's the things that, I mean, if you were a robot, that wouldn't matter to you,
no.
why even show up to the damn wedding?
Well, I'd be a robot. I would like if there was a thing that I could do, I would snap my fingers and everybody literally would have to do what's right. That's being a robot.
Right, and that's, yeah, and that's
And
that
the
that
in
does
the
kind
in the
of
world in the world would be better instantly.
um well, then I would have to say that that's slavery.
No, we're like it's literally we're all doing the right thing, not slavery, because in slavery, whoever owner is not doing the right thing. There is no slaves. Everybody is literally doing the right thing, so you can't have slaves.
Well, what's keeping you doing the right thing?
Right now,
No, in your ideal world, in your robotic world, just a program.
uh, yeah, I guess you would say that there's some thing in the system that it's kind of how I wish, like, if the biblical story was true, God should have just made
Right.
us however God wanted us to be, so God could have been happy. There's literally no reason for free will. If God wants us to just praise God, God should have just made us all that way, and none of us would care. We would just be praising God, and no one would care. God
Mm.
should have just made everybody that way.
And
It's also
and
why I think the story's BS, by the way, because if God really wanted to just make it, God would have made it.
I think and I see that point too, and I see that that's part of why I'm really kind of unconventional when it comes to the Bible and belief in general, because I believe, but I don't believe that everything that is in the book is the truth as far as fact. I believe that it's a story, that there are stories in there that we can pull pieces out of, and you can pull something out that is different than what I would pull out
Okay.
to help us live our lives better and more harmoniously. Um,
What do you think what does God do to you? Have we ever
what
spoke
does he
about that?
do?
Mm-hmm.
What does he do?
Yeah.
Um, what I've said to you before is that I don't know. Um,
Okay. Okay, that's fine. I don't know, it's just
and
fine.
I don't know, but I mean, I guess the thought of it. Uh, I mean, that's something I'd have to sit down and think about that a little bit more, I think, to
Yeah,
give you.
I think that's something that you should, um, because that is part of my process I went through. It's like, okay, you don't believe in this, don't just be a emotional idiot and just jump to something else. Like, really break it down and think about it. And I think that's something that you should be able to answer. And it's okay that, like I said, I love the honesty, that you haven't really thought about that. But I think if there is something in your life, you should always know what its purpose is. And that goes from people to God to your car, whatever. right? Like you should know why it's in your life. And like that's something I think maybe is something to think about.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll definitely sit down and think on that.
I know, Buck. You're a cool guy, man. Me and you could have some beers for sure, brother.
Well,
Yeah,
right on. I look forward to the day.
yeah, man. You take care. Thank you for calling.
Hey, man, and thanks for answering my call. I'll talk to you soon, there, Mister J. You drive safe.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care, bro.
Yep. All right. I always like talking to Buck. Yeah, the display name now says J instead of Never Flame, Never Tilt, but you can still look up the channel by typing in Never Flame, Never Tilt. Uh, so I always like talking to Buck. He's super honest. Anybody that's a believer and wants to come up here and be honest, I mean, even if you don't want to be honest, I'm just going to be a little harsher on you. But anybody that's open enough to admit being wrong, you are on my side. I am so big on people being able to admit they're wrong. I try to teach my kids that. I try to teach everybody I'm in communication with. Being able to admit that you are wrong or could be wrong, it's so important. So important. Like I put that over whether somebody believes or not. That is like down here. Being able to admit you're wrong, like I will be your friend. I will have your back. Like those are the people that I want in my society, are people that can admit they're wrong. Like I swear, like that is one of the most important things to me, regardless of whatever you believe in. It's why I don't like our leader right now. Not the only reason, but we have somebody in office that literally says that they are never wrong. You should have never voted for that person because they said it all the time. Like, I will not vote for you if you say you're never wrong. Like, you are a sleazy ass person. That's all I gotta say. I try not to, on this channel, I try not to bring in politics. Eventually, we will have a political channel because I got a lot of shit to say on that. But I thought that religion and politics ties in so much together that a lot of people's politics are because of their religion. So I decided to attack religion instead at the moment. Yeah, you can say all leaders are shit, but there's some leaders that are worse. Hey, Fern Love Bond, thanks again. Best thing about learning I'm wrong, I can stop it. I like that. I like that. I like that. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. But anyways, all right, you guys are chatting it up, man. I wish some of you guys that had these big opinions in chat would come join the talk. I think you can see I'm pretty reasonable to talk to, so there's nothing you should be afraid of to come talking to me. Come talk to me. I think most of you guys probably seen the new video because that video is doing pretty well. I'm gonna go run and get some orange juice. And yeah, if anybody wants to step up, come have a chat. Other than that, when I get back, we'll probably be going like 20 more minutes unless somebody calls in. And I'll be right back. I'll play some music on the way out. All right, back at it. No one in the queue. I guess I have defeated all believers. I've only been streaming for a couple months and we done defeated all believers. I'm just kidding. All right. Hey, thanks, Fern. Appreciate your super chats. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you for the comments and questions. You guys take care. All right. Coming to an end here. Like I said, I always like talking to Buck. Appreciate you calling. We will have another stream tomorrow, same time. I'll have a video for you guys in the morning. This one without any spoilers. It's Alex O'Connor video. Very interesting video. I didn't know what I was getting into when I decided to respond to that video, so I think you guys are going to find this next one. It's a little weird, but give it a chance. Like, don't just click off of it when it starts. That's all I got to say. Like, watch the video. You got to watch it. There's a point to it. So, anyways, it is going to be different. That's all I'll say. So after I get off here, I'll finish editing it and making sure it's all polished and clean as much as I can. And we'll go from there. Don't forget, guys, I hope you notice I almost respond to every freaking comment. So if you got something to say to me, put it in the comments section. I am probably going to respond. It's going to be very rare I don't respond. This topic, can I give it away without you guys knowing the video? Yeah, the video today is on Frank Turk. Or sorry, the video from yesterday is on Frank Turk. So if you like Frank Turk, that's a video from yesterday. Yeah, there is a new spot, right? So if you guys like these channels, I guess I'll start posting them in my videos. But there's a couple of links if you guys kind of want to chat afterwards. Like I said, I'm trying to build up a little community thing, man. So sometimes people want to have these discussions offline. As long as we're respectful. That is the kind of chill channel where it's called the parking lot. And parking lot is just after we get our business done. You can go to the parking lot and have your discussions. Yeah, if you ever been in any engineering kind of thing, you know what I'm talking about. So we call it the parking lot. You take it to the parking lot. So that's what we do. So if you want to join there, everybody's welcome to join that. It's open. As long as everybody's respectful, we're all good. All right, what's next? Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, look out for the video tomorrow. I don't want to give the topic away. Just watch it. Most of my topics are going to be similar, but just watch it. I want you to be surprised. It's going to come out early in the morning. A lot of people told me that they watch my videos on the way to work, which I appreciate that. If I'm the one of the things you're listening to on the way to work, hell yeah. I'll have to go through the parking lot. Y'all have been talking in there a lot. I'll be honest, I don't get to go through all of that. So the parking lot is kind of y'all's, man. I'll chime in when I can if I see something, but that's y'all's place to chill. If you really want to come speak to me, it's probably going to be best on the lives. I'm about to start getting really busy because the channel's growing, which is a good thing. So I'm not hating on that. You guys will see me on there's at least one show coming up. I don't know if I can say exactly which one yet, but at least one show that'll come up that I'll be on coming up pretty soon, and I'll let you guys know when that is. So hopefully things keep improving, things keep moving. Yeah, I'm trying to make moves, trying to get our message out there. I think my channel is different than other channels, so I think it's something that the community needs. Not saying the community doesn't need what's already there, but I think I offer something different. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So, as always, I'm Jay. Don't forget to throw away your feelings, open your minds, and question your beliefs. Thank you guys for watching. I'll check you in the video tomorrow. Peace.